Hi, Spiders. I'm super excited to be here with Chris King. Chris is a 2014 graduate of the University of Richmond, where she double majored in leadership and business administration with a concentration in marketing. She was on the women's basketball team here, and she was the 20th Spider to score 1,000 points in her career and was named to the Atlantic 10 All Defensive Team and the A10 Third Team as a senior. And she didn't end her basketball career here at Richmond, as she went on to play pro in 10 different countries in just an 8-year period, while bringing home numerous accolades. And the back-to-back MVP in Germany balanced a full-time job as a digital marketing consultant, all while playing pro. Chris is also an entrepreneur and created a podcast with a fellow Spider, Kendall Anthony, as well as started a company with her dad to help athletes in their journey to recover from injuries. Chris, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Jade. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So we're going to jump right in. I'm super excited with some of these questions that I have. So starting off, what is it that drew you to the University of Richmond?
Well, Richmond has a great academic program. And so that was one of the main things that I was looking at when I was, doing my search for a university. I wanted something that had strong academics, but I didn't want to sacrifice basketball. It's been such a huge part of my life. And so, looking at, potentially going Ivy League, I was like, but I want better basketball. Like I want to, really be challenged. And so when I was looking, Richmond is kind of tagged as like the Stanford of the South and the Ivy League of the South. And so I was able to get, high quality academics with a strong, basketball program in the A10, and we were sponsored by Nike. So who could be mad about that?
Right. Awesome. Thank you for that. We are sponsored by Adidas now.
I know, although I really like Adidas at this point, like their gear and stuff has really, I wear Adidas shoes all the time now when I play.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And so, following up on that, what was your favorite memory as a student athlete here at the University of Richmond?
I would say, honestly, I'd have to take it back to right before our freshman year. We actually were the first class that got approved to go on an international trip as freshmen. And so we ended up going to Norway and Sweden. And funny, my last year as a pro athlete, I ended up playing for a team that we played against the summer before my freshman year. So in Sweden, it was Uppsala. And so it was kind of like a full circle kind of journey in my basketball career, but getting a chance to really bond with my teammates and be with our coaches in different countries and experience that culture was amazing.
Yeah, perfect segue, because I know you went on to play pro, and I'm wondering what your transition was like, to play pro, and how did your experiences just as a student athlete kind of prepare you for the rigor of professional basketball?
Absolutely. So, coming in as a freshman in college, Coach Schaefer and I, because he was the coach at the time, and I was very communicative and, told him like, hey, I want to play pro basketball. Like I want to play overseas. It was my dream since I was, like 7 years old to go overseas, travel and play. And so he was kind of harder on me because he knew exactly what my goals were. And so he really, he pushed me to be a leader. He pushed me outside of my comfort zone. And so balancing being a high level student or a high level athlete where you're committed to, over 40 hours a week in the gym, and then double majoring on top of that, like nothing that could come my way as far as, culture shocks or language barriers or different things that you just face because over there you're by yourself, like when you're in college, you have your team around you and you guys might not be best friends, but at the same time, you guys are in this together, you're day in, day out together with the same people pushing for the same goal, which is, to make it to the NCAA championships, make it to March Madness and all that kind of stuff. And so for me, having to go through all of that, when I got overseas, I was like, there's nothing that I haven't already faced that you guys can throw at me that's going to make me, detour or not be able to bounce back. And so I think my coaches, I think my teammates just for, really pushing me and holding me to a standard. I know you're very familiar with Jen. She's one of the toughest people I've ever played with. She's one of my best friends. And so, having that kind of support system and those kind of people holding you accountable day in and day out, like really prepared me for, going overseas, being in a different country and having to deal with, different facets of just day-to-day life in a different place.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I hear you mention support system, and I very much know how important that is being a student athlete. And I'm wondering, we actually launched the Spider Performance and Development Program here last semester. And so it's 8 different areas really focused on making a holistic student athlete experience. So we've got mental health and well-being, strength and conditioning, and analytics, academics, all of these areas kind of coming together. You know, in your experience, can you just speak to the importance or what it meant to you to have, you know, folks on your support team that were really pouring into you while you were here?
Absolutely. I mean, from Coach Dahlem with our academic support and just making sure that, like, telling him, hey, I want to double major, him giving me all the options to be able to make sure I was on top of my class schedule, because it's tough balancing, when you're traveling for games and stuff, and being sure that you're, communicating with your professors. And just, I love the atmosphere at Richmond. Everybody is like willing to help you. And so with my professors in the business school, with my professors in the leadership school, they would come to our games. They were really supportive. And so they helped, when we couldn't make it to class, we're emailing them back and forth, and they're just so willing to jump in and give us whatever we needed. And then, from the basketball perspective, our coaches are always willing to get into the gym with us, Beecher and whatnot with the strength and conditioning. I came back pretty, not too long ago, and just saw like the upgrades that they had made with, the new facility and everything. And then of course, everything is tailored to the specific individual, which I love, because everybody's body is different. Everybody, the way that they bounce back, the way you recover is so different from person to person. And so really having that like individual approach to each and every person is just going to make the program that much more successful. And you guys are having a lot of success this year. So
thank you for that, Chris. And
yeah,
you played in 10 different countries, which means, similar to the University of Richmond, you were exposed to various different cultures and backgrounds. So what did it mean to you to have those experiences?
Well, as a young girl, I would say, like, since I was like 7, I always wanted to travel the world, to the point where I was like, hey, Dad, I'm going to take a gap year and, go travel. And he was like, no, you're going to get your education and then you're going to go. And so it was always something that I was really passionate about. I was taking French throughout high school and college because I wanted to be fluent. And so getting to really travel, and it's one thing to travel as a tourist, you go see the big sites and the things that people talk about and whatnot, but it's different when you're fully immersed in the culture and living there, day in, day out, for months at a time. And so getting that experience, I thought I was well-versed and cultured and, outside of, had perspective on the world. And it wasn't until I really got out, especially my freshman year, on my own, nobody around me, and I had to really come to grips. Like, it taught me so much about myself. It taught me, just how strong I was and just how much I was able to really accomplish. So
that's awesome. I appreciate that. And
of course,
I remember when I was on the team, you used to come back and say hello and sometimes even practice with us. And you always had really great advice to share and just were so motivating. So if you were on campus right now, what advice would you give to some of our current student athletes?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I would say to never doubt yourself and trust in, what you bring to the table, and let your work speak for you. So a lot of times, we get so worried about, oh, well, am I going to be good enough? Am I, am I qualified enough to be in this room to talk to these people and do these certain things? And it's like, if you've put in the work and you've put in the effort, go for it. Like, what's the worst that somebody's going to say? No. Well, if that's the worst that they can do, that's not that bad. In the grand scheme of things, you're going to get told so many no's before you get told one yes. So if you never shoot your shot or whatnot, you're never going to know like what exactly you're capable of accomplishing. And so I think for me and my journey, I've always kind of saw myself as a little bit of an underdog. We didn't go to the biggest programs, we didn't go, but look at everything I've been able to accomplish just by saying, you know what? It doesn't matter. I work hard. I'm going to do all that I set out to accomplish. These are my goals. Okay, who is in my support system that can help me reach them, and who's going to push me to reach them, and how can I just get it done? And so I think Richmond really helped me to just understand that, just go out and get it done.
Yeah. No, you bring up a great point. And I think even just from, even being someone that came into this program after you, like being able to see folks like you and what you did here, and then, follow what you're doing even beyond your time on the court. I think it means a lot to current student athletes to be able to hear from you and just see, like, you have goals here while you're here, but then to watch somebody continue to crush them is awesome. So thank you for serving as a role model for, I know, so many athletes here at the University of Richmond, but just what you're doing in general.
You.
So
thank you.
Absolutely. And kind of building on top of that, what lessons have you learned as a student athlete that have helped you in your career, and maybe how have you even applied them to your own career?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing is just being disciplined. When you're balancing sports and academics, it's not easy. You have to be really organized. You have to, time management is crucial. And so it really taught me, being a double major and, playing basketball full time and stuff. When I was able to graduate and continue my career as a professional athlete, it was like, I can do more than this. I can be more than just an athlete. So how can I, configure what I'm passionate about, which was marketing and digital marketing, especially, and turn it into something where I can pursue my career as well as play basketball? Because at some point, the ball's going to stop bouncing, at some point, whether from injury or just, not getting the right contracts that you want, or just, it's time, the ball's going to stop. And so what do you have to fall back on? And I'll never forget my first year out, I went to Romania and then I played in Iceland, and I was coming back for the summer, and I was like, you know what, I want to pursue something in my career, in my field. Let me get an internship. Let me, start gaining some more experience. And so I went in for 2 potential interviews, companies. Yeah. And one of them, I was really excited about. Like, they were in media buying and different things like that. And it was a really great, kind of field to be in at the time. And I went in and we talked for 30, 45 minutes about my basketball career. Oh, you're so versatile, you've adapted to so many different environments. That's great, blah, blah. And then she goes, how can you help my company? And I was like, of course, you're in marketing, so you can, make up something on the spot, like, oh, well, I've done this and I've done this and I've, had experience in this. And when I left that, I was like, I never want to feel like that again. I never want to feel like I'm in a position where I can't add value because I don't have the experience. And so I pushed and pushed, and I ended up finding an internship that allowed me to turn it into a job. And then from there, I was able to build up enough credibility and have a good reputation with them that when I went back overseas, they were like, we'll see how it works with you. And so then I kind of turned it into, working full time while playing overseas, and, having that digital marketing consulting role while I'm still playing basketball full time. And so that was something that I was like, we can do more. We don't have to just be defined by, oh, we're an athlete. We're just, I play pro basketball and that's it. No, I play pro basketball. I'm a digital marketing consultant. I'm a female entrepreneur. And so there's so many different things that you can do that, it's just finding your passion, how you can turn your passion into your career.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you were juggling a lot of different things. And so that leads me into my next question, which is centered around the A10's theme. And so this year, the A10 for the month of February, the theme is Black health and wellness. And so with it being Black History Month, really highlighting the ways that, folks in the community are really taking care of themselves. So as you were juggling all of these different things, and even now, over the past few years, what is it, or what have you done to prioritize taking care of yourself?
Yeah, great question. Still learning that. I think that's something that's always, evolving, and things that you find out about yourself. But I work a lot. I work a lot. I have my hands in a lot of different things. And so really, I try to take at least one day a week where I don't do anything. I only focus on me, whether that's sitting in bed watching movies because I am such a movie buff, or cooking my favorite food, or just spending time with some of my family. I always just take one day a week just to do that and nothing else. Another thing is just when I wake up in the morning, taking time to meditate, whether that's, if you're religious, I am. And so, praying and getting in my Bible, getting in my word, and really kind of letting that set the tone for my day is huge for me, because I can tell when I haven't done it, I just feel off. I don't feel, grounded. But then just taking 10 minutes to really just, set yourself up for the day, taking 10 minutes to just wake up, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, now I'm ready to approach my day. And so that's been a really big change in just my approach for, handling things, because, dealing with clients and whatnot, they can be a little testy at times. So to have, the right mindset is really important. Actually, I partnered with a company not too long ago called Restoic, and they are geared towards mental toughness and mental conditioning. And so they have, an app that you can go through, and it provides, how to, for athletes, how to bounce back after, you played bad or different things like that. But then they also have just meditation and mindfulness segments in their app too. So that's been really helpful too. I wake up, take 10 minutes, do that, get in my word, and then I'm ready to start the day.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think, like you said, it's so important to take care of ourselves. And I think, like you said, we're still growing. We're all still
Yeah.
learning, you know, what you use to take care of yourself 1 month might be different than the next month.
Exactly. And I'm just happy that so many people now are shedding light on it, because I know, especially in our community, like you don't talk about it. It's just like, oh yeah, you know, pick yourself up and keep moving. And I'm really happy that, I mean, athletes are using their platforms to really shed light and talk about these things, because we're all human at the end of the day and we all suffer from these things. And so having that support system to really, you know, say, oh, you were doing this. Oh, let me try this instead and see if that helps, you know, has been really important.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you for shedding light on it. I appreciate you for spending some time with me this morning. This has been awesome. And again, just I know how much of an impact you had while you were here at Richmond, and just thank you for the impact that you continue to have and the light that you shed on a lot of different issues that are in athletics and just overall in the world. So thank you so much, Chris. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Jade.